In graphic design, there are principles of design that can be considered, which we can keep in mind in order to develop and create successful design. These principles all have a relationship between each other and appear in every well-designed piece of work you see. Understanding and harnessing design principles will enable you to create good visual communication and design in a variety of ways to make specific, appropriate, and meaningful impressions. This is what typically separates good design from bad design. In a previous video, I discussed the design principle hierarchy, and in that video, we looked at the key ways hierarchy can be achieved in poster design. In poster design, hierarchy can be achieved in a variety of ways using contrast in layers, contrast in scale, contrast in color, contrast in space, and contrast in direction. Now, it's important to mention that these techniques don't have to be used exclusively, as some can be used together to develop a clear hierarchy in your design. In this video, we are going to look at one of the key ways to achieve hierarchy in poster design. I'm going to take you through a quick presentation where we can look at some examples of how hierarchy can be achieved using contrast in scale in poster design and the lessons we can learn to incorporate into our own design. So, let's get into it. Okay, so let's take a look at how contrast in scale can help develop visual hierarchy. Now, a quick recap. Hierarchy is created by contrast between visual elements in a composition. Contrast helps distinguish elements from each other, which helps with legibility. Typically, visual elements with the highest contrast are noticed first, and so on. And one of the key ways to achieve contrast in poster design is with scale. So scale is one of the most straightforward and common approaches to establish hierarchy in a composition. If one element is bigger than another, then naturally it will be more legible, and there is a higher chance this will attract the eye first and be seen before anything else. Scale is one of the most practical techniques when establishing hierarchy. Depending on your approach, contrast in scale can be used to create simplicity or complexity. In some posters, an image is the largest visual element in a composition, which creates the primary hook. This grabs the attention of the eye first, and once noticed, one will move to neighboring visual elements that are smaller, and so on. Here are some examples where an image has been used as the largest element in the composition to grab our attention. When an image is used as the primary hook, the secondary hook and supportive elements like type, shape, or iconography can be placed at the top or sometimes at the bottom or even around. In each instance, image is the main point of focus first, to which after we acknowledge the image, we then move on to the smaller neighboring elements. Now, this is one of the most common poster design approaches. Images can speak 1,000 words, so naturally placing large images as the primary hook works well to catch the attention first. In such posters, the image will do all the hard work, and any other visual elements such as type or shape will support and work around them not to compete too much. In these examples, it's clear to see the hierarchy. In every example, our eye is drawn to the largest visual element. So the difficulty level for this technique is easy. So it's very common for a poster to include a dominant image as the primary hook, supported by type and shape elements. Though sometimes a poster may decide to use type as the primary hook, or perhaps only include type and no image at all. When this occurs, it's the contrast in scale and layering of the type elements that determines the hierarchy. Here are some examples where type is used as the primary hook. Typically, it's the largest and most clear type element that attracts the eye first, and the scale of neighboring supportive elements that leads our eye onwards through the composition. Now, this approach is less conventional and far more technical to develop. Unlike the fairly straightforward approach we just saw, where type works to support a larger image, here type is the dominant element and can include multiple typefaces, weights and sizes, and if done well, can create more dynamic compositions. Working with this approach opens up a lot more possibilities and requires more skill and experience with type to get the right balance. Here we can see how this has been done with great effect. So the difficulty level for this technique is challenging. Overall, in each example, it's clear to see how hierarchy has been achieved. In almost every example, your eye is drawn to the largest type element. So in conclusion, one of the most straightforward techniques to achieve a clear sense of visual hierarchy is to use contrast in scale. Skill and care will be required when working with image and type in your design to get the right balance. So what can we learn? Well, without taking care to establish a clear visual hierarchy, a design will be confusing and difficult to comprehend. Using scale is one of the most practical techniques to establish visual hierarchy in your design, and there are a variety of approaches you can take. Using image can be straightforward, however, if using only type, this can be more challenging. If managed carefully, one can create dynamic and exciting poster designs with impact. So in application, when you're designing posters or anything for that matter, be sure to consider contrast in scale to establish a clear hierarchy. Also, when you look and observe other designs, ask yourself, how has hierarchy been considered? Is there a clear sense of hierarchy? How have they used contrast in scale in their design to achieve it? And how well does it work as part of the design? Well, I hope you enjoyed this design theory lesson. If you did, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified of more design lesson videos like this in the future. Now, this lesson is part of a bigger series on poster design and part of my poster design ebook. If you want to take a closer look at the examples I demonstrated in this video and learn more about poster design, with tutorials on how to make a poster design and undertake a poster design challenge, you can invest in the poster design ebook. Link is in the description. Now, this video was created for all my members of the GDS Design School community. If you'd like to join the GDS Design School community, where we chat about design, give each other feedback, and where I set design challenges, you are all welcome to join for free. Again, link is in the description, and I look forward to seeing you there. So until my next design lesson, unleash your creativity, and I'll see you next time.